The government of Dominica will formally launch a national employment program on December 2nd. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs receives 3 vehicles from the government of the Republic of Korea. And stay with us to catch a glimpse into Community Day of Service projects island-wide. Thanks for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Mervin. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after the break.
There is a silent, invisible killer in our midst. A killer which largely goes unnoticed as it plies its deadly trade. Its name is secondhand tobacco smoke, which has a far greater impact on persons inhaling this poison than on smokers themselves. Secondhand tobacco smoke is especially detrimental in public places and negatively impacts our national health as well as public health expenditure. Stop this invisible killer now. Say no to secondhand tobacco smoke in public places. A public health message brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Thanks for staying with us. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs was the proud recipient of 3 protocol vehicles from the Korea International Cooperation Agency on Monday. In a brief ceremony at the Winter Park Stadium, it was disclosed that the gift is meant to enhance the capabilities of the Foreign Affairs Ministry in matters of diplomacy. Addressing the event were Honorable Alvin Bernard, Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Korean Ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Park Dong-sil, and Karin Prevost, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
The Republic of Korea has had a very long, strong bilateral relationship with the government of Dominica, and we've received aid in the past from Republic of Korea for disaster management in the area of Layu and in the area of the Roseau Valley. Also, we've received assistance in the Foreign Affairs Department previously. We've also received assistance for the emergency management, fire trucks, emergency vehicles and equipment, as well as in the area of education.
The ambassador stated that the intention is to make diplomatic relations between Dominica and other countries more comfortable while strengthening the relationship between the Republic of Korea and Dominica.
This morning, I'm pleased very much to hand over 3 Korean vehicles. Furthermore, it gives more pleasure that these vehicles will be used as the protocol cars for the foreign ministry. That means this car will greet the foreign dignitaries when they arrive at the airport. There will be the face of Korean cars to the foreign dignitaries. Also for the important government ministers, I'm really pleased to hand over these Korean cars to the government of Dominica.
Honorable Alvin Bernard says the government of Dominica thinks very highly of the Korean government.
The Republic of Korea, we believe, is a very good friend of Dominica. I particularly remember the response of the government following Hurricane Ophelia. And if my memory serves me right, the government of Korea was the first, one of the first responders to the disaster when it occurred back in Dominica. And many affected persons along the West Coast have realized the benefits of that response. So, Ambassador, I'd like you to convey to your government our deepest gratitude for this gesture. And I appreciate your efforts in sustaining our bilateral relations in various areas. This gift will greatly assist the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the staff of which is doing a wonderful job with very limited resources. We have a very creative and industrious staff, and I believe this gesture will greatly enhance the efforts of the staff of the ministry, and of course afford the government of Dominica and the people of Dominica to put on a bright face when we encounter our visitors and various dignitaries coming to our country.
The Korea International Cooperation Agency was founded as a government agency in April 1991 to maximize the effectiveness of Korea's grant aid programs for developing countries by implementing the Korean government's grant aid and technical cooperation programs.
The government of Dominica will formally launch a national employment program on December 2nd. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit made the announcement on Sunday during his address to the nation at the parade of uniformed groups at the Windsor Park Stadium. The Dominica leader says government will engage over 400 people in direct employment initiatives.
Already 95 individuals who have completed hospitality apprenticeship training in Portsmouth have received confirmed placements at over 25 hospitality establishments in the north and will be engaged for a period of 1 year. The following also form part of the initiatives: 240 individuals who have completed training with the Employment and Small Business Agency, Adult Education Division, Basic Needs Trust Fund, and the Dominica State College will be engaged in an on-the-job training and mentorship program with over 80 businesses and organizations across the island. 35 university graduates will receive opportunities for internships with the government and other statutory bodies, including the Aid Bank, Invest Dominica Authority, and the Dominica State College, to name a few. 10 communities will receive support to hire over 50 individuals on special community projects, including community tourism initiatives, resource center management, school feeding programs, and landscaping. Through a new education mentorship program, over 50 young people will be employed to provide after-school care, tutoring, and homework assistance to primary and secondary school students in communities across the island.
The Dominica leader further indicated that in 2014, the government will provide specialized assistance towards the expansion of small and medium-sized businesses with job creation potential. A package of direct marketing support, technical assistance, and financing will be made available to these businesses. This financial year, government is investing over $9 million in the Investment and Small Business Support Unit for small business development, employment, and job creation initiatives.
In more news, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has applauded Dominica nationals for their support of this year's independence activities. The Dominica leader made the remark as he addressed the 2013 Independence Day Parade on Sunday, November 3rd. He made special mention of the National Youth Rally and the Independence Day Parade of uniformed groups, which was attended by thousands of nationals despite calls for a boycott of the events by the opposition.
Independence Day Parade 2013 will go down in history as among the most vibrant. It is a source of great hope for our nation when babies, children, young people, adults and elderly, male and female, can all embrace our culture and nationhood through active participation in our independence celebrations. The atmosphere here today of patriotism and pride is similar to the euphoria which was experienced at last Friday's National Youth Rally, which also created new records of participation. Your presence tells me that you have distinguished right from wrong, sense from nonsense, responsibility from immaturity, love of country over love of a political party.
The Dominica leader, in his address to the nation, spoke of the major gains made by the current administration in various sectors, including health, housing, and education, and the improvements to the island's road network. GIS News will bring you more on the Prime Minister's address to the nation in subsequent newscasts. We will also replay the Prime Minister's address following the 8:30 and 10:30 newscasts.
Last Friday at the National Youth Rally, students and the uniformed groups of the island displayed their national pride with creative formations and drills. The United States Army Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps of St. Thomas also put on quite a show. Following that spectacular performance, GIS talked with the troop's leader, Colonel Eddie Charles, who first expressed his awe of the National Youth Rally.
What I saw was a display of nationality. It's national pride to see all the youth of Dominica from all the schools, elementary as well as high school, and also the Cadet Corps participating in this just national pride, I call it. And I haven't seen anything like this since leaving Dominica back in 1970. 69 was my last parade, and it wasn't anything like this.
Colonel Charles revealed that his cadets were excited to display their skills at such a forum in Dominica, mainly because of the primary objective of the troops' presence on the island, to exchange knowledge.
And this is something we want to share with the Dominica Cadet Corps, so that the various elements of the Corps from east to west and north to south can then take up on something like that and have competitions among themselves. What you saw was as a result of competing inter-island, regional, and there are national competitions for this. And our Mighty Race Battalion Unarmed, they are the champions. They were champions for within the Puerto Rico Virgin Islands region. Okay, and they were the champions this year with the unarmed competition, the girls. And our armed guys, they've been second place.
GIS also caught up with Lauren Barnes Roberts, who is liaison officer in the Ministry of Diaspora Affairs. This is what she had to say.
Today was outstanding. Normally we respond outstanding, and today was outstanding for the GROTC cadets of the Ivana Udoroken High School. I'm very pleased that they came, and I'm sure it was a different experience because in the USVI we do not have that level of or that equal activity. For example, yes, they have a parade for independence, 4th of July, and there are other parades like for Veterans Day, but there is no setting like this in the USVI. So I'm sure it was an eye-opener for them and a very great experience for them to be in Dominica at this point in time. The turning of the rifles is not something that we do here, so there is something to learn from both parties.
Overall, Colonel Charles sees the cadets' performance as the beginning of much greater strides in the future.
What we've established here is a first-time exchange, and we anticipate, especially with the easing of the visa travel requirements especially between the U.S. Virgin Islands and the CARICOM countries, that we can have cadets come and join with us in our camps, and vice versa, cadets from the Virgin Islands, not just Udoroken High School, but all three schools can come down to Dominica and join in, network. All right, it's all about youth, saving our youth, and making our youth into better citizens throughout the diaspora.
In other news, Minister for Information, Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment, Honorable Ambrose George, is very impressed with the national support of this year's independence celebrations. Minister George made particular mention of the turnout to the National Youth Parade and Independence Day Parade of uniformed groups.
It was a great success, a great success in terms of, all the activities were well covered. The participation of the public, in particular the youth rally and the National Day Parade, these were exceptional. I've been around for some time, and it's really the largest number of people that I've seen attending those two functions. And that is a manifestation of pride in country. Of course, it's a revolt against the call for boycott of those activities, which in my mind was, I really don't know how to describe it, but certainly a misfit. And the people of Dominica who love their culture, who love their heritage, came out in large numbers to prove the point that this is our culture, this is our country, this is our pride, and we love our country. The gala was well participated to, and I think all in all, people, the comments, all the activities preceding the National Gala, all of these were well attended and well functioned, and people were it was just a joy right through. The weather, we had some rain, we had some good sunshine. Overall, I think the weather was good, and I think people have just had a great time this season. In particular, of course, the visiting Dominicans, who took every opportunity to attend all the activities during the season.
President of the National Youth Council, Jai Benoit, echoed similar sentiments during an interview with GIS News on Tuesday.
I must say, I'm elated to see the standard and the response of the population to this independence celebration. It was of a high caliber, and persons really turned out in large numbers to all of the events, and I want to commend the Dominican public for the level of participation in this year's independence celebration.
GIS News also spoke with Parliamentary Representative for the Roseau Valley constituency, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre, about his impressions of this year's independence season.
One of the best November seasons I've ever seen for a very long time, effortlessly by the government. From the point of view, there was no major call to tell the people, let's come together. People know they had to come together. And we saw it at the youth rally, we saw it at the military parade, and we're going to see this afternoon, and we're hoping for peaceful, relaxation this afternoon in the city of Roseau, where we can all converge and have a good time this afternoon, and really say to us, after looking at what happened at the World Creole Music Festival, a great success this year again for government, actually one of the biggest festivals in time. When you couple that together with your festival, your youth rally, your military parade, and even your cultural gala yesterday in the park, and basically I've seen serious patronage by Dominicans in terms of their national holiday, in terms of the birthday of Dominica. And that's one thing I must say about Dominicans, they pride themselves, looking at National Day and the birth of this country, and that's one day you cannot play with. This is a serious day.
In more news, the flamboyant dancers of Dubla have been recognized for their promotion of Dominica's cultural dances. The group received the prestigious Edward Oliver LeBlanc Trophy during the National Cultural Gala, which was held on Monday at the Botanic Gardens. The flamboyant dancers was formed 7 years ago and has won numerous folk dance competitions. The Young Artist Award was presented to Ordell Hamilton of Petit Savan. Special awards were also presented to the staff of the local government department. Lifetime Achievement Awards were presented to Jerome Sabruch and Stephen Drygo.
Meanwhile, Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence has described this year's independence celebrations as a success. Lawrence made the remark as he delivered the opening remarks at Monday's Cultural Gala.
Every single event that I can think of since we started on Friday, the 27th of September at the Bayfront has been successful. Each in a different way, each in a different measure, but nonetheless successful. Most of them, in fact, all of them running smoothly. All the participation very encouraging on the part of the cultural groups, the artists and the public. And the level and the standard of performances really needs to be complimented.
Minister for Culture, Youth and Sports, Honorable Justina Charles, during her address on Monday, applauded nationals for their participation in the independence activities.
We as a nation have recognized the need for us to maintain that level of pride, that level of interest in what is happening in our country. And I want to commend all of us. Those of us who did not allow our participation to waver because of all the negative things that were said. And I think we sent a clear message to all of those persons who tried to put party politics before our nation. A message was sent clear and loud to all of them to let them know that our Dominicans are patriotic and will stand for the development of Dominica. I want to commend the Dominican public for the tremendous turnout at all of the activities, at the youth rally, at the national parade, and at all the other activities. I commend you for that.
Winners of the 2013 Team Matador, National Wop Duet, and Madam Wop Duet pageants also made special appearances at this year's National Cultural Gala.
After 3 consecutive years of beautification projects for Community Day of Service, GIS News team has witnessed amazing undertakings for development all over the island. Materials such as tarish and cement were provided by central government to facilitate most of the projects visited. GIS's trip along the west coast to the north of the island on Community Day of Service revealed that massive numbers of people were in full force repairing roads and drains from Jimmet to Capuchin to Paybush. In the northeastern districts of Dominica, road repairs dominated community service projects, and hundreds of residents, including those represented village councils, came out to participate. Parliamentary representative for the Wesley constituency, Honorable Gloria Shillingford, told GIS News that work on the 10 Shilling Road formed part of priority projects on the Community Day of Service in her constituency.
This road is a very, very important road. The road links part of the village and comes to Batis, and the children who attend the Northeast Comprehensive, those who would have missed the school bus, usually use this road as a shortcut to the main road, and it takes them there. It serves a number of the community persons, and it is also important because this road, let's say the main road is blocked, it is another road that will take persons through the village. So you can start from the beginning of Wesley, come up to Batis, come down that road, and it is a very, very important link road.
GIS News also visited the southeastern region of the country, and in a few hamlets around Grand Bay, several people got off to an early start. In Geneva Housing Scheme, a drainage project was underway. Up in Hagley, a group of men got started 2 days in advance and worked their way down to the midsection of that road, where we caught up with them. At the entrance to Grand Bay, the parliamentary representative, Honorable Justina Charles, along with members of the wider community, was hard at work beautifying the area.
This is the entrance to the village and approaching the theatre secondary school, and what we found is that usually, especially when the students are going down to school, most times because of the overgrown grass on the side, they usually walk in the road, which is very, very dangerous for the students. Recently, during the government project, they just cleared it, but what we found is that with the rain, the grass has grown rapidly. So we've decided to try to clean it so that we can maintain it at the level of a law. So that when the students are coming to and from school, they will not have to walk on the road just for their own safety. And we think it's the entrance of the village, so that can help to enhance and beautify the entrance of the community. Recently, that the flowers that we saw there, we planted that about 3 years ago during Community Day of Service. And regularly, we either do it or pay people to clean it and to keep it tidy and clean for us. So we just thought today Community Day of Service, while others are doing probably concrete work, we just thought that some of us would come there and try to clean it and beautify it and try as much as possible to maintain it.
Several people, including La Plains parliamentary representatives, showed up on Community Day of Service to continue their beautification project.
Here in La Plains, we are currently on the Fresh Island Road. This crew really is the Labour Party branch taking care of this road. Some time ago we did a project here, and so we are doing the maintenance and continuing the beautification project. There is another group of people on the upper end of this Fresh Island Road.
And the entire community of Grand Fork came out to show us what Kudme is all about. Road improvement projects and the construction of drains were undertaken throughout the village, while a number of people were involved in beautification and cleanup. The southeastern region of the country demonstrated the Kudme spirit and what it means to come together to better a community and the country by extension. Our coverage also took us to the capital city, where we caught up with a hardworking team from River Street, paving a very important link road as well as a major cleanup project in Virgin Lane. Residents of the Roseau Valley were also very active with road repairs in Shawford to roadside cleanup in Loda and road repair and drainage in Wharton Waven. Look out for GIS's national coverage of Community Day of Service 2013 in future programming. Mervin, you know what that means. Independence 2013 is officially over. What was it like for you?
Well, for me, with the news, you know that we're always busy during that time, covering different events and so on. But I think what struck me the most is the National Youth Rally and the Independence Day Parade. Well, for one reason is I never realized how people respond to calls for boycott in that manner. You know, I mean, I'm not an old person, but that's the biggest crowd I've ever seen at such events.
Reverse psychology, maybe?
That's something like that, you know. But apart from that, I think, for example, the Tuesday's event, where persons came out in large numbers, I would say, based on my experience, based on what I've seen. A lot of people came out to participate in the cleanup. I know there's for several years now, there has been the call for beautification, and now they have basically reintroduced, quote unquote, the concrete sort of thing. But even then, there were a lot of people who were involved in beautification, for example, in Loda, in Wharton Waver, and also. And even based on watching some of the footage from the other groups who went out, the beautification thing continued, and that to me says that Dominicans really listened to the call of the Prime Minister at that time when he called on persons to beautify their surroundings, don't leave it only for that particular day. What about you?
Well, actually, I feel I love Independence season. I like to participate in every single activity. And from the first stroke of Jinping, I was all in.
Okay.
So now that it's over, I feel a bit like what's next? Christmas is not the same as Independence.
True.
And it kind of feels like I'm 35.
Okay.
Anyway, I just want to say happy Independence to Dominica. Well, from all of us here at GIS. And as the ministers and other government officials says, thank you for your participation, and hopefully next year will be something even bigger and better. It seems to be getting bigger and better every year, right?
I think it will continue that way too.
All right.
And that's the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique a fait parole qui parle de l'année 2020. Tout étudiant qui a eu l'opportunité à attendre State College Dominique. Parole ça l'a sorti au ministère de l'Éducation, Honorable Peter Saint-Jean.
Le gouvernement Dominique a travaillé bien raide pour nous voir qui par 2020, ça c'est 2020, qui tous les enfants qui graduent de grande école en Dominique, qui trouvent en Dominica State College. C'est pour ça que nous avons dépensé 30 millions de dollars pour augmenter le collège là. Et aussi, nous avons dit que par l'année 2020, qui pas seulement tous les enfants qui graduent qui attendent State College, mais le gouvernement qui fait certains qui n'ont pas ni pour payer pour attendre State College, même qu'on a fait avec grande école en Dominique actuellement.
En la nouvelle, le ministre Public Works a mis clété Cadison Kinfield. Ça a tombé en bas projet mis clété tout en pays là. Le gouvernement China a Dominique commitment pour pouvoir répliquer 2000 sécurité salam. Ministre Public Works Honorable Ribbon Blackmore fait parole que le gouvernement Dominique a financé le projet salam à valeur de $100,000. Honorable Blackmore dit que le projet là bien important, mais il a coûté autant d'argent. Le projet ça a complémenté le network chimé en pays là. En la nouvelle, Village Council Paybouche bien plaisir pour journée service national. Parole ça a sorti au chairman Hubert Remy.
Nous trouvons qu'il y a une participation à mon à commune là, il bon tout bonnement. Spirit là tout bonnement. Avec moi, je voulais complimenter moun Pébouche encore, comme on dit. Moun Pébouche, moun qui a toujours venu ensemble pour faire succès à Pébouche. Moi, je voulais remercier moun Pébouche. Moi, je voulais remercier moun Mon Parc aussi, parce que Mon Parc ni project yo, terre plate ni ça yo, et Dodan ni ça yo. Comme ça, moi, je voulais remercier tout le monde en commune. Nous continuer ça avec, quand on voit qui nous commençons le projet là. Le projet là pas fini aujourd'hui, mais ça nous voulons faire pour même si c'est le samedi pour nous try pour finir projet là, parce nous pas voulons commencer biter avec qui nous pas ça fini. Nous voulons commencer biter vers nous finir.
Finalement, l'Office des Arts en collaboration et puis SIDEMA qui est une consultation qui mettait attention à ce management des arts le 7 pour le 8 novembre l'année 2013. Objectif consultation c'est manière pour développer le monde connaître plus affaires changement climatique et puis comment il ça affecte nous. Challenge, manière pour baisser les bagailles qui vulnérables, manière pour augmenter la capacité affaires management des arts et puis pour formuler un plan pour management des arts en Dominique. Il y a une grande cérémonie pour conduire consultation salam qui tient en l'Office des Arts en Jimet. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nous faire la créole pour présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, how to avoid the cold and flu.
Together we build, together we strive. We see it all on your Government Information Service, Channel 7. This is the Government Information Service, bringing you all that you need to know about all that's happening in your country's development. GIS, you and your channel.
Studies show that the only cause of the cold or flu is a cold or flu virus, not getting wet or chilled.
The studies also show that the flu vaccine is one of the best ways to prevent the flu, besides a healthy lifestyle and proper hygiene. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm.
Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Mervin. Thank you so much for watching.